How are you all doing? I hope you're well. I hope you are having a wonderful beginning of the week. It is the second day on our Creator's calendar. And I hope you guys are finding joy and finding peace and finding shalom in the Torah. And this is where a lot of people will click off because they don't want to hear about the Torah. So before you click off, if you're a brand new listener to any of this on any of the platforms that you may be hearing this on, let's talk very quickly about what we should do as human beings if we truly love our Elohim. You will call him God, I will call him Yahuwah. If we love him with every last breath, every last beat of our heart, every last piece of our existence, do we love him because he gave us life, freedoms, a Torah, the scriptures? Do we love him? And if the question is, or if the answer to this question is yes, that we do love him with all our heart, all our mind, all our soul, then wouldn't the things that he had said, where he said they were for all generations, point blank, without ever, there's no stop, wouldn't we want to use what he says and bring it into our lives and align ourselves with how the Creator has wanted us to align ourselves? The thing about the Torah, and for those who don't know what that is the first 5 books of Scripture that we have. It is often called the law, but it's really called, and it should be called, the good instructions. And they are absolutely, positively very, very, very good. How do I know they're good? Well, because I've read them. I've read them over and over and over and over and over. And the more that I read them over and over and over and over and over, the more I am basking in their amazingness and their good direction for everything that I need in my life. If I need to know how to treat my neighbor, I learned that from the Torah. If I need to know how to raise a family, I learned that in the first 5 books as well. If I need to learn how to worship my Creator, I learned that in the first books of Scriptures. Everything that I need to know for life, including what I should eat for my food consumption, my Creator has not left me void. He's not left us void. He has given us Leviticus 11, which is our instructions for food. All food has not been made clean. That's the lying hand of the scribes that are lying to us over and over and over. There's no such place in a good translation that the words all food has been made clean is there. You can take a verse here and a verse there out of context, but you can do that with any kind of book. Say you want to see the book War and Peace. It's gigantic. Say you start 7/8 of the way through the book and you think it's just me okay to read it. You'll figure it out from here. You would have no idea what's going on. You would have zero clue what is going to be happening, which is why it is a problem when we just simply take the New Testament, pieces of it, because as those who are supposed to love our Creator with all our heart, mind, and soul, we're only taking pieces that suit us. Like when people say all food has been made clean, that isn't even there. That verse is 100% about washing your hands before eating. That was what the accusation came from the Sadducees and Pharisees and those of the time that were trying to accuse our Creator's Son, Messiah Yahushua, and trying to get him to be exposed. And they could never, ever, ever, ever expose him. And he smote them every single time, which is why he said it doesn't matter what goes in. It's not what goes in a man's mouth that defiles him, but what comes out of his heart. He did not say my dad's Leviticus 11 dietary laws are gone. The accusation against him was, why don't you wash hands before you eat? And he simply said, it's not the germs, it's not the disease, it's not whatever's on my hands. That's not what's going to hurt me. What's going to hurt me is what's coming out of my heart, the person that I am, the speech that I am willing to do, the things I'm willing to do to fellow human beings, right? It all matters. And so, guys, as we begin, some of us begin this Torah walk, I would like to encourage everybody that the old dogmas of this is old, this is like, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, or the constant people laughing, oh, ha, 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 you want to be God's people, ha, 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 right? It happens all the time. People get mad at you when you want to keep the laws of our Creator. And what triggers them is when they hear that same thing. Excuse me. These people just do not care. And when you don't care and you are able to say that the laws of our Creator have been nailed to the cross, you can't tell me that you love your Creator with all your heart. It doesn't happen like this. We love the people that we love, we value what they say. We take what they say to heart. If we hurt them, it matters to us because we love them. They're a part of our heart and a part of our life. And this is what our Creator has done for us, is He loves us so much. He knows every freckle that is on your face or back or body, or every toe toe hair that you have, every single thing. He knows it. He has you designed. You are built in an immaculate way that fully functions and is able to hear things and understand things and make vibrations come out and speak things, be them either good or be them either bad. And so, guys, as we align ourselves into this Torah walk, it's a lifestyle. Walking the Torah is not a religion. This is the entire religious scene is satanic. There is not a single religion out there that is not satanic. And people will throw sticks at me. People will go, oh, that's horrible. Why would you say things like that? I'm not saying the people in these religions are bad people. I'm saying the religions of themselves are simply satanic. Anything that goes against the word of our Creator, anything that goes against His wishes, is by the hand of Satan, which by default makes it satanic. So when people are doing great evil, it's usually always satanic influence that is doing this. And so, guys, the Torah is a good thing. It's a blessed thing. It's a happy thing. We can apply it to our lives. We can really make changes in every last breath that we take, and we can make the breath for the good of the kingdom. We can go the way of our Creator, and we can do what He wishes to say. And it is where we get into this book right now, the book of Khalidi. And for anybody that is looking for Yah Scriptures, it is still available. The big blue book. It's 3,153 pages. Has the name of our Creator, the restored name of His Son, and it's the Paleo Hebrew. And I know a lot of people are always like arguing Yahushua, Yeshua. Guys, it's not an English name, and so we're all sitting here trying to spin an English name onto whatever it is, how we think it sounds. But this is the proper name, right? This is what it means is Yah is with us, or salvation. There's a lot of things that Yahushua means, and this is the name, right? This is the name of the Son of the Most High. Whatever it comes out to, we at least know the spelling of it, which is why Yah Scriptures is amazing, because it's taking out the pagan names, things like Jesus, Lord, God. Instead of that, we have the restored name of our Creator, and this is Yahuwah, Yad-He, Wav-He, or Yad-He. There's a lot of debate in that as well on how it is, but it's far closer than the surtitle of God. There's lots of gods, right? There's all the deities, the Nephilim of old. Every one of those guys are considered a god. But we only have one Elohim Most High who would be considered God, and that's Yahuwah. And then we have His Son. We have His beautiful, precious, just been there, done that, reason for living, reason for doing what we are doing, because this is the guy that is able to not only mentor us in the kingdom to come, but He is able to, by His example and by His words, we're able to learn things about our lives. Now, hang tight as my dogs are going crazy. And there we go, the beautiful creations of our Creator, the dogs, as they always are. For those who do not know, I have 9 pit bulls, and I can sneak off to another room to try to do these readings. But when they get excited, and they just break out, and they go crazy, and they howl, and they do pack things, and it's absolutely it's just a testament to our Creator. It's a testament to everything that we see in and around us, including the human being, is an amazing design Our Creator is worthy of praise. He's worthy of honor. He's worthy of us obeying Him as He wants us to obey Him. And it will be an honor to hang out with this cool cat right here, Messiah Yahushua. This is our example. Our example that we can walk the Torah. We may not get it right. We're going to fall. We're going to be stuck in Babylon for a lot of our lives. And we have to chisel that away, right? We have to chisel ourselves to be people of the kingdom. And we really won't know what people of the kingdom are. Unless we read the scriptures. And this is why I encourage every single one of us, every single one of you to read them from the front of the book to the end of the book. What you're looking at right here, guys, you're looking at Yah Scriptures Google app. If you have any Google device, any phone at all, you can go to yahscriptures.com and there's a download section. Click on the APK and this will install all 103 books. Everything that we have in the Big Blue Book is right here. And so here we are. And there's always different things because we're actually running two different manuscripts because of the way everything ended up. And the way you start juggling revisions is the app ended up being, I don't know, revision 1.5, but there's some crazy stuff still that we have to fix at some point. So the Big Blue Book so far we know is very, very close to perfect. We will have the paperbacks. We're doing pre-orders for the paperbacks right now for Yah Scriptures. We're hoping July, August to have those in stock for everybody that's able to get the pre-order in. Right now, I believe they're going to be $25. There'll be a beautiful, beautiful book with a little dust cover as well, and it's portable. And so instead of the big, ginormous Big Blue Book, which is beautiful and bulletproof, there's something that is far smaller and very much portable. So guys, let us get into this. This is the word of our Messiah. This is when he's our Messiah is the Word made flesh. And that trips a lot of Christians up because they're like, oh, well, there's the Trinity right there. They don't understand the basic concept that our Messiah was hanging out with his dad prior to our creation ever being created. In terms of how long has our Creator been in existence, who's to say? I mean, it's probably forever into something we don't even understand. So at some point in the realm that our Creator was, he had a son. His name was Yahushua. And so Yahushua grew up under his dad's guidance, directly walking under exactly what he wants. And so when our Messiah came and walked these lands and became the literal Word made flesh, this is our advocate against being tossed into Hades forever. This is the only way that we had a way that we can break this curse of the spiritual curse of the Torah, because from the moment that 3 years old when we put our hand in that cookie jar, we have broken that Torah, and we needed a savior, and we have our Messiah. But a lot of people, the Christians, believe that Messiah is a sin card, the Redeemer. Like you can just live in mad sin and do whatever you want. You don't have any kind of rules or commands. You have the 10 commandments, but only like 9 of them really even matter. Well, that's a mess. It's all lies from people who are deceivers who are stealing your money, 10% of it, as they continue lying. So, guys, let's take a look real quick on this. This is Messiah Yahushua walking amongst the people and answering stuff. We're hearing stuff. We're learning stuff. So let's continue on. And again, I'm sorry for rambling. For those who don't like my rambling, I'm so sorry. I can't help it. 53. Here we go. Sometime later, the emissaries who had been away rejoined Yahushua, bringing with them a Talmud who had deserted Yahushua in Endor. Something big right here, right? Messiah Yahushua got abandoned by this guy. Probably guys coming in and attacking him and everybody getting tripped up over what Messiah was saying. So continuing on, he was named Barnabas. And seeing him, Yahushua was overcome with joy and welcomed him warmly. Whereupon 2 of those who had come with him went aside and were sullen, for they were not received in this manner. Calling the 22 men who were with him, Yahushua addressed them as follows. A man had 2 sons, and one day the youngest came to meet him and said, Father, I want to go away from here. Therefore, give me the inheritance, which would one day be mine, so I can take it with me. So the father divided the estate and gave the youngest son his portion. This was then sold, and the youngest son departed to a distant city where he dissipated the money on women and riotous living. After his money was gone, he found that no one wanted to know him, and soon he was completely destitute. So we all know the story. We know where this is going, but I think it's worthy of discussion because a lot of times the people that are around us because they want something. And I've been self-employed all my life, and so you end up with a lot of people, especially investors, investors that will like think that they can like own you into slavery. They can like throw a little chump change your way and completely just take over everything. And it's the thing about money is it draws bad flies. The flies come in, and it's something that when you're destitute, when you're broke, how many people are really truly there for you? And usually the answer is very, very few. A lot of times we have family. A lot of people, have people, and that's great that we do. But a lot of people, when you don't have cash, it's completely over. Continuing on, Messiah says this: no work being available for him in the city, he went outside, but the only job he could obtain was that of a swineherd. Often, when he saw the pigs gorging themselves, his own stomach aching with hunger, he would think, if only I could bring myself to eat the pig swill, it would ease my hunger. What a fool I've been, for here I am worse off than any of my father's employees. I will go back to him, admitting my failure as a son, for he never withheld anything from me and let me go my own way when this was what I wanted. So he set off and returned to his father's estate. His father saw him coming while he was still far off, and seeing his son footsore and weary, the father's heart was filled with compassion. He ran out to meet him and embraced him warmly. The son was stricken with remorse and said, Father, I have done wrong, but will do my best to make amends. I am unworthy to be treated as a son, but let me work for you as a hired servant. But the father led him home and called out to the servants, Here is my son! Bring him a change of clothing, get a ring for his hand and sandals for his feet, and go and kill the fattening calf and roast it, for we are going to celebrate his return with a feast. I thought my son was lost, but he has returned, and I am happy. Now the elder son had been out in the field all day, and drawing close to the house at dusk, he was puzzled to hear the sound of music and laughter. Passing one of the servants, he inquired what it was all about. And the servant replied, Your father has ordered a celebration for the safe return of your brother. This made the elder son so angry that he would not go into the house. And when his father came out to see why, the son said, Over the years I have served you faithfully, and you know you can rely upon me. Yet you have never even put on a feast of goat meat for me and my friends. Now this prodigal comes running back because he has squandered everything on harlots and gambling, and you immediately have a great feast of celebration? The father said, My son, you are my right hand, and I know you have never let me down. I depend on you, and all I have is yours. But it is a special occasion, for the one I thought was lost to me has returned. This does not lessen my affection and regard for you, but he is weak and needs support, while you are strong and do not require such displays of affection. Yahushua put his arms around two Talmidim and said, My friends, when the going gets tough and the road is long, some collapse by the wayside. It is these who need encouragement, and it is not always to admit failure. When a sheep becomes separated from the flock and is lost among themselves, does not a good shepherd leave the rest and go in search of the one who has gone astray? This does not mean he loves it more than the others, nor does it lessen his love for each of them. It was some days later, at another place, that a follower named Yosef said to Yahushua, Adonai, if a man cheat another, is he punished for the cheating or for the harm he has done to the other man? Okay, before we get into this, this is the story of the prodigal son, right? And this all came about because this guy that had turned on Messiah had come back, and Messiah was so happy to see him that he celebrated him, and everybody who's around him is like, I didn't get that love. I didn't get that high five. I didn't get the pat on the back, hey, buddy, how's it going? And Messiah explains it the same way that I'm sure our Creator would explain it, that one lost soul is everything. And I believe that every time that there is a soul that comes to our Creator through the Torah and through the Messiah, and that they realize that there is a Torah path and that there is our Messiah who has advocated us to follow the Torah and keep the Torah and do what his Father says. If we love him, keep his commands. This is what he has told us to do. So continuing on into this, when any one person turns from bad to good and they break good from breaking bad, that is rejoicing in the Shamayim. And this is yet another reason that every single one of us don't know exactly who our neighbors are. Because we know from our Messiah that our neighbors are those who keep the law, statutes, and commandments, and that that's his family. That's the people who are his family. We're in covenant. We're doing the same thing. We're all doing the same thing. So those that are out of covenant are those that have kicked us off to the curb. And so when you run into those who are broken, defeated, and not loved, reach out to them. See if you can spark that flame of hope. Because everybody's heard this Christian rhetoric. Everybody's heard the rhetoric of the Jehovah's Witnesses and all of these guys popping by your door and selling you the salvation, telling you the way to the kingdom. It all starts with 10% to their little tithe boxes and joining their cults on the Sunday day. Guys, we need to be followers of our Messiah. Our Messiah kept the laws, statutes, and commandments of his dad. So to be a person of the kingdom, that's us. Continuing on. Where Messiah was saying, the question that this guy says, if some days later at another place, that a follower named Joseph said to Yahushua, Adonai, if a man cheat another, is he punished for the cheating or for the harm he has done to the other man? And before we even get into that, we know Messiah has said from the book of the Nazarene that everything we affect, if we throw a rock into the water, everything we affect by either good or bad is going to be attributed to us for out all the way to a ripple. So if you guys can envision a ripple that goes all the way across a little pond all the way to the other side, everything we do good or everything we do bad is going to be played back at a certain point. Which is why when we get into alignment with the Torah, when we love our neighbor as ourselves, when we are helping those who need help, then that's what the Torah is all about. So Messiah says this. Yahushua said, speak a punishment only to the people, for the accords with their understanding. On earth, men's deeds are weighed on scales balanced between reward and punishment, but these work inaccurately. In the reign of the Ruach, the measurement of assessment is a man's earthly life. You are now on the balances. Do not be found wanting. Now, I think that I think this is probably a good place right here to end this, because I think this is such a hardcore verse right here that this is how we are going to be judged, guys. This is out of the words of our Messiah. This is how either eternity happens or eternity is going to happen one way or another, right? But we're either going to have a place of gladness and amazingness, or we are going to be in a place of worms eating our flesh and gnashing of teeth, and a horrible place that Scriptures says is not a good place to be. So how do we do this? What is this at? Well, Messiah says that our deeds are weighed on scales balanced between reward and punishment. That's heavy, right? This is heavy stuff, right? So, but he also says it works inaccurately. So, what's the reign of the Ruach? What's the reign of Elohim look like? Well, we're going to be assessed by our earthly life. What have we done? Are we seeking the kingdom? Are we reading our scriptures? Are we falling in love with our Creator and his Son and his ways? Do we love the Torah so much that we read it with our families at night? Are we emboldening our families and strengthening those around us and making our kids write it on their heart, mind, and soul and pressing it into their minds? If this is not what we are doing, then this is what we need to be doing. Because every one of us have, especially males and females, every one of us have a responsibility to the core of our families that we are reading scriptures. And females, for those males that are not in Torah, not reading it, read with them, right? Read scriptures with them. Start in and read it slowly as a family. 1 hour a night. See what changes you can do. See if you can get it to become a hit. See if it's something that is good family time, because it really is. And it is something that will help everybody as we learn it. Now, as we go through the Torah, these are the kind of commands that you see right here that are great commands, right? When you see these things that are passing before your eyes, these are the things that religion in general rejects. They don't master sin. They don't even give a rip about sin. Do not eat the blood. Who preaches that? Who teaches that? Right? Walk before me and be perfect. That's a commandment that we have, that we need to walk before our Elohim in as much perfection as we can. When we find holes in our game or chinks in our armor or something we have becomes a little rusty, we need to get some stuff on it. We need to de-rust this. We need to get our life better. So walk before me and be perfect are all of these things that they've thrown on the cross. Now here's another set. Over 53 different times we have been told to guard Yahuwah's covenant laws, statutes, and commandments. That's on the cross to the Christians. That is the most insane thing ever. But yet this is the most reiterated commandment of all times, is that we guard and we defend the laws of our Creator at all costs. We wouldn't say the blasphemous things that we used to say when we thought the laws were on the cross, because we listened to these lying, fork-tongued demons that are selling people's souls to hell, and they don't read their Bibles, right? These people that think they're qualified preachers that don't read their Bibles, they are sending people to hell. They might be the nicest guys you ever know. And my mom goes to these nicest guys you possibly know, and they tell her all the foods may cling, and everything that I try to tell her, that is all crazy. Now, had she taught me the way of our Creator, teach your children the commands and guard the way of Yahuwah, I didn't know this. I didn't know anything like this. I didn't have any rules. I just had don't steal. We had 9 of the 10 commandments because we certainly didn't keep the Shabbat. Remember Yahuwah's name for all generations. Every single time the word God appears in your scriptures, that is a paganized name that they've taken the name of our Creator out. His name is not God. His name is Yahuwah. And look at this. These are the things that we have appointed times, right? It's not Easter. We have no such thing called Easter. We don't have a bunny and it's called Ishtar with fertility rites based in pagan death rituals and all this Molochian death cults that is all around us. Guys, we have appointed times. We have Passover that will be coming up. Keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? There is one Torah, right? If you are in a religion, you are breaking this commandment, because every other religion has all their own laws. So if there's only one Torah and we have it in the first 5 books of scriptures, then what are all these other things about Sunday worship and eating bad food and doing all these things, celebrating Christmas and all these pagan days? There are no mighty ones before Yahuwah. Very, very important stuff. You shall not make graven images. We know some of that from the 10 righteous commandments that we hear there, but it's not the only 10 commandments there are. There's about 158 we can keep today. Again, do not bring Yahuwah's name to naught. Every time you hear people say they use a superlative of God, that's his name being brought to naught. There's lots of them. Who knows what God they're talking about? Here's a big one, and I will end on this before I talk your ear off, because it's about an appointed time. This is an appointed time. Our Creator has said and reiterated, I want you to keep the 7th day Shabbat. And it goes over and over and over. And I know there's all these false people out there. I know there's like a guy, Nick Vanderland. He has his calendar. People think he like literally got the revelations that we need to swap Shabbats every single year or something of the sort. And so people are jumping on these bandwagons, jumping out of the cycles of 7s and 50s. And so we have commands that every 7th day is a Shabbat. But if you would swap your day of a year once a year and you have an 8-day week, then you're breaking the 7th day command. And our Creator doesn't do that. He doesn't need to bounce around. We go in cycles of 70s and 50s, Jubilees, and it's a mess. But that's why we need a Messiah. Messiah's going to sort this out for us. He's going to give us the right way. And I believe that we will all be accredited to those that are keeping this, right? So whatever day you're keeping your appointed times, whatever it is that you have found and are compelled to keep them, you keep them. And then Messiah will sort it out for us. And I'm sure we are all wrong in a lot of our stuff. But, we don't know. We're like 6,000 years beyond the first day of creation, and the devil has corrupted much of everything that we see. Everything on the TV is a lie. Everything that we shouldn't be watching TV. Shouldn't be watching the news. You're just programming yourself. There's nothing on the news that is of the people of Yah. You're not going to find truth on that. You're not going to find it anywhere, guys. And so it's you watch that crap, you will be programmed, and pretty soon you'll be in the system. And beware of the one-eyed sleep snatcher. Much love to y'all. I'm out.